Today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on a Honda Fit. And the good news is that whether you have a 2001 Honda Jazz or a 2020 Honda Fit, the procedure for doing an oil change is largely the same. First thing you need to do is warm up your car. You don't need to overthink this. Just wait till the low temperature light on your dashboard turns off and then it's warm enough. The Honda Fit is a relatively low car, so we're going to need to lift the front of the car to give us a little bit more access underneath here. So in my opinion, the best way to lift a car for an oil change is by using ramps. But we have a bit of a problem. The front bumper is hitting the ramp. And if you have a base model Honda Fit, this might not be a problem. Or if you have a lower profile ramp, this might not be an issue. But specifically the sport model of the Fit, it doesn't fit on ramps very well. This is a Rhino ramp. And at the front of the ramp, there's a little rubber foot. And there's this little spot, which is roughly the width of a 2x4. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. So if you don't have ramps, there is a front jacking point right here on the front cross member. Although to get my jack to fit under the car, I had to drive up on these blocks of wood. So your mileage may vary there. I think maybe I should have used longer pieces of wood. I definitely wouldn't necessarily recommend that method. Actually, these homemade ramps are maybe your best option. They don't leave a whole lot of space, but they're solid. You can use them on like gravel. I mean, I would assume so. You definitely don't want to use those ramps on like gravel or dirt, only solid, smooth concrete. So yeah, just be safe lifting your car. It is kind of tricky because this car is so low, but thankfully that's the hardest part. So let's drain the oil. Alrighty, so if you have a 2013 Fit or newer, you might not see the oil pan yet. You might instead see a big black splash guard. And if that's the case, all you have to do is remove all of the Phillips screws that are in the splash guard, and then the guard tilts back and slides back. All right, so now we're ready for the main event. We're gonna drain the engine oil. This might be really hot, so you should be able to put your hand on this for a few seconds. If this is your first time doing an oil change, make sure this isn't too hot because this oil is gonna shoot out. And on that note, I'm gonna put the drain pan back here because I'm expecting the oil to shoot out and then eventually it's gonna start dripping. So I kinda wanna line it up so it can drip straight down on the very edge of the pan, but when it shoots out, it doesn't shoot too far. It's also really smart to put newspapers down in case you spill. And then this is a 17mm bolt. And so you can use a box end wrench, or my preference is a 6-point socket on a ratchet. So if your drain plug happens to be really tight, you can also use a breaker bar or a cheater pipe to make things a little bit easier. What you can do is you can kind of position your hand up here and then put pressure on the drain plug while you're unscrewing it. Alrighty, so now the plug is totally loose, so we can pull it out, boop, and get oil splashed on my face. And while you're under here, it's a great time to take a look around. As you can see, I quite badly need a new motor mount. So when you pull out the drain plug, you need to make sure that you find this crush washer. And this crush washer technically should be replaced every time you change the oil, because as you can see, it does get crushed down over time. This one looks all right, so I'm gonna reuse it, but best practice is to get a new one of these, and they're really cheap, so there's no reason not to just replace this. Sometimes this washer can get stuck to the oil pan, so make sure you watch out for that. All right, so I'm going to thread this back in here. And then I have my torque wrench set to 29 pound-feet. I know some people are gonna make fun of me for using a torque wrench, but it's what you should do. So next up, we're gonna remove the oil filter. This is an oil filter wrench. I think this was $5 at Walmart, and it just goes on the end of your ratchet. There are a bunch of different styles of these. They're all relatively inexpensive. You shouldn't really need to spend more than $10 on an oil filter removal tool. So now we're going to get a little bit of oil on our finger, that's fine, and put it on the rubber seal on the filter. You can use used oil for this, just make sure it's clean. Like, we don't want this grimy stuff down here. Get it from up there. And then we're going to lightly thread the filter on until it is seated on the block. So the Honda oil filters have these marks every quarter of a turn on the filter. So this filter specifies that we need to now turn it 3/4. So we're starting at 2, which means we need to go 3, 4, 1. Let me show you. So we go, oops, that's the wrong way. We go 3, 4, and 1. And now that filter is on there tight. And then we're gonna wipe up any oil drips, and I'm gonna spray this with some soapy water and wipe it off. You can use brake cleaner if you want. All right, now it's time to fill her up. You should really get your oil weight and capacities from your owner's manual. But if you're in North America, you can put 0W20 in your Honda Fit. I'm using 5W20 because that's what my owner's manual specifies and that's what it says on the cap. And then how much you put in depends on which year you have and whether or not you're changing the oil filter. And you might be saying, don't you always change the oil filter? Well, technically, you only have to change the oil filter every other oil change. And that oil filter is the same one that they put on the Honda Ridgeline. And that's a much bigger motor. And even with that bigger motor, Honda says, you only need to change the filter every other oil change. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to change the filter next time. I'm just going to do a drain and fill. And you don't have to do this, but it's kind of gross around the oil cap, so I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit before I take the cap off. So if you have a 2019 to 2014 Fit, you might find that when you try to use a standard funnel, it doesn't work very well because the engine is set further back in those years. It's hard to get a regular funnel in there, so a longer funnel might help you. You can just use a regular funnel, but it's going to be a little herky-jerky. And then I have a 5-quart container here. It might be tempting to just dump it all in, but we really only need to put 3.6 quarts in. So I'm going to look on here and try to leave 1.2 quarts in the bottle. And you can use any motor oil that has the API seal on it. And it might seem counterintuitive, but if you have one of these big bottles, I find it's best to pour with the bottle flat. It tends to glug, glug, glug a little bit less, and it's easier to get the bottle closer to your funnel. And then we just put the oil cap back on. All right, now we're ready to start the car up. What we want to look out for is this oil pressure indicator. So we turn the car on, and within a few seconds that should turn off. It's filling up the oil filter, and boom. Now we want to get out of the car and immediately look underneath and see if there are any drips. And so if you do have a splash pan on your car, I would keep it off for this part, and we're gonna leave the engine running for at least 3 minutes now. Oh, and while we're waiting, we can reset the oil life indicator. So we press and hold this stock for quite a while. Then it starts blinking. We see we're doing the A1 service. So we press and hold again. And it's reset to 100. All right, and now the final step is to check the oil level. It is the orange dipstick. If you have an automatic transmission, you'll have a yellow dipstick over here, possibly, unless it's a CVT. And so we pull this out, wipe all the oil off, and then stick it back in, insert fully, get it nice and seated, and then we read the oil level. So we're here in the editing room. I forgot to mention, like, if your oil level looks like that, that's probably as low as you want it to be after an oil change. You really want to get it as close to that upper full dot as you can without going over. And if you do go over a little bit, it's okay. Like, people say that it can do something really bad to your engine. It's fine. You don't want to super overfill it because that can cause very serious issues. When you're adding oil, be careful because it takes a while for the oil to drain all the way down to the pan. So add some oil and then wait like a minute or two and then recheck it. And make sure you're parked on a really level spot when you're doing this. So ideally, you know how much motor oil you put in and you know the capacity from your owner's manual. And so you really can't mess it up. And we're done. So yeah, that's about it. Obviously, be careful, wear your PPE, and especially when lifting and lowering the car, you want to be extra careful. Make sure you're doing it correctly. Do not get under a car that is just supported with a jack, especially not the scissor jack that comes for changing the spare tire. That is how you die. Anyways, yeah, this channel is about this car. I just bought this car. As you can see, it needs some work. There's some paint protective film on here that's peeling, so we're going to try to take care of that. The headlights are cloudy. As I mentioned before, we need new motor mounts, and I'm thinking about deleting the clutch delay valve and doing some other little modifications here and there. So if you're interested in seeing that, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, this is a fun fact, if you want more room under the hood, there's another hole. Look at that.